everybody, and welcome to Monday's edition of FCN Prime News. I want to thank you for our second week of airing this program. I'm Trezene, your anchor for tonight. Super excited, as always, to be here on the internet with you guys to bring you the news that you want to hear from a perspective that matters to you. We are simulcasting live on both Facebook and YouTube this week, so we're super excited. So you all know what that means. You can interact with us in real time in the comments. So please like, share, comment, and emoji everything that you're thinking, and we will definitely be looking out for those comments that make us think, make us laugh, or make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Before we get into today's news, I just want to share something with you all on behalf of the entire Fifth Column family. We are so grateful and appreciative of the incredible amount of love and support you guys have shown us during our launch week. We received over 100 new fans on our Facebook page, received thousands of views on our programming videos, and so many likes, shares, and amazing comments, and we cannot thank you all enough. Today, I will be joined again by our resident sports guy, J. Cole, and our pop culture enthusiast, The Revolution, and they definitely have some dope stories for y'all today, so stay tuned. And with that said, let's roll into our top news story. Another black person has been killed at the hands of a rogue police officer. Mr. Patrick Harmon, 50-year-old man, was shot and killed by the Lake City Police on August 13, 2017. In Utah, he was pulled over for riding a bicycle across 6 lanes and a median without the required red rear tail light that Salt Lake City requires. On this past Wednesday, after a 7-week investigation, the Lake County District Attorney concluded that the officer's use of deadly force was justified because officers said that they feared that Harmon was going to hurt them, according to a letter that the district attorney sent to the county sheriff and the police chief detailing his investigation into the incident. However, today, the body cam video was released, and it clearly shows Harmon was running away from officers when he was shot in the back. Police are always in fear of their life when it comes to black folk. If they were truly so fearful of us, you would think that they would approach these situations a little more politely. You know, my mom put fear in me, which meant that when I approached her, it was always, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, what can I do for you, ma'am? I never came at her in confrontation because I truly feared her. Can't really go with the police officer saying they're always in fear for their life. I think they just come at it a little bit different. What does this mean for us? It means that body cams do not matter. Criminal procedure and legal process is what matters. Police and prosecutors are cool with each other. Prosecutors and judges are cool with each other. Prosecutors have an incredible amount of discretion in bringing charges in all of these situations, and they all do whatever they want for political reasons. And until everyone in the Black Lives Matter movement understands that, these situations are always he said, she said, with the weight of credibility and support being with the side of law enforcement. And the movement will continue to remain a series of outrage, tears, and protest. This story will be updated as we dig deeper into the facts of what happened that night. Because here at FCN News, we don't give you narratives, we give you the facts unabridged and unadulterated. Meanwhile, this weekend, white nationalists are back in Charlottesville, Virginia. Richard Spencer, the man who led the alt-right Tiki Torch March in August that sparked a weekend of violence, resulted in the death of Heather Heyer, was back in Charlottesville to protest the removal of the Robert E. Lee statue again in Emancipation Park. The rally, led by Spencer, had about 40 or 50 people and lasted only about 5 or 10 minutes, according to the spokesman for the Charlottesville Police Department. There were no incidents of disorder or violence at this rally. The Charlottesville mayor, however, took time to send a tweet denouncing this march. He said, another despicable visit by neo-Nazi cowards. Go home, you're not welcome here. Oh, we're looking at our legal options, so please stay tuned. What I found a little funny is if you look at the picture of that march, which we do have, unlike the last protest where they came showing their faces, this time they came donning their Blues Brothers sunglasses. I did chuckle. Spencer told the press via Twitter, along with the chanting of the protesters, that they will be back. I can only imagine how the Black, brown, and Asians and all the minorities at UVA are feeling, how they can even concentrate on their schoolwork, knowing that this tension will be back on their campus. At the same time, the FBI has instituted COINTELPRO 2.0. According to a leaked report, the FBI has declared that Black identity extremism is a violent threat in the United States. The document obtained by Foreign Policy is dated August 2017 and written by the Domestic Terrorism Analysis Unit within the Bureau. It read, "The FBI assesses it is very likely that Black identity extremist perceptions of police brutality against African Americans have spurred an increase in premeditated retaliatory lethal violence against law enforcement." The FBI wrote that the alleged police abuse is what continues to feed the resurgence in ideologically motivated violent criminal activity within the Black extremist movement. Good Lord have mercy. Why does this matter? Because back in the civil rights movement, the FBI had a program called COINTELPRO, a weird acronym for counterintelligence program, that basically had a bunch of series of covert operations that were illegal. It aimed to survey, infiltrate, and discredit and disrupt African American political organizations. So just in case the FBI is watching, hey, I'm just quoting Wikipedia's definition, so please don't kill the messenger. But for all of you viewing out there, go read up on COINTELPRO. And if you know anything about it, share what you know in the comments. Let's educate each other on this topic. Now, I know some of you might be waiting for me to have something to say about the Dove ad. And trust me, I had plenty to say about it on yesterday's episode of the Sunday edition. I sat down with Jantina Anderson, a cultural advocate with research focuses on Black women and their inclusion and exclusion in certain spaces based on their aesthetic. And she dissected that Dove ad and many of their other ad snafus. So if you're looking for that conversation, check it out later tonight and go look at the Sunday edition past episodes. With that said, we're gonna go out to commercial and we'll be right back.
Hello, Evil Corp. We are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent, ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
Welcome back to FCN Prime News. In international news, India has appointed its first transgender judge to the bench. 29-year-old Johita Mandal was recently appointed as judge to a government-deemed civil court in West Bengal, India, becoming the country's first transgender to achieve this feat. Her feat is really incredible considering the discrimination and ignorance still threatening their community, despite a 2014 Supreme Court ruling in favor of a third gender, which recognizes and grants them political and economic rights. In India, their transgender persons bill, which was introduced in 2016, seeks to prohibit discrimination against them in education, employment, healthcare. But that bill is still hanging in the balance. According to an interview given to the Women's E-News, Mondal views her appointment as a judge as a huge step for the trans community, as well as a huge opportunity to reiterate that they are equal citizens in their country and they deserve the same respect, dignity, and acceptance as everyone else. In business news, Black Tech Weeks has recently announced its 2017 list of the best cities for Black-owned businesses. The list is based on the U.S. Census Bureau analyzing entrepreneurial activity in Black communities for 107 metropolitan areas with populations over 10,000. The ranking is based on a total of 7 metrics of economic improvement and the success of Black-owned businesses in those areas. Results show that southeastern states have a higher concentration of Black businesses, and guess what? Atlanta has lost its #1 spot. Are y'all ready to hear this list? I'm going to count it down backwards from 10. Number 10 is Richmond, Virginia. Number 9, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Number 8, Baltimore, Towson, Maryland. Number 7 is the Durham, North Carolina area. Number 6, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Number 5 is Savannah, Georgia. Number 4 is Washington, D.C., the Arlington, Alexandria, Virginia area. Number 3 is Atlanta, Sandy Springs, and Marietta, Georgia. Right, number 3. Number 2, Montgomery, Alabama. And coming in at number 1, drum roll please, is Memphis, Tennessee.
What?
Memphis, Tennessee. So to all of you entrepreneurs out there, if you've been thinking about relocating to push an entrepreneurial venture, this list might be a great starting point. What other stories do you guys want to see here from the news desk? Send us a note, send us a message, a DM, or something to just let us know what you want to hear. And with that, I'm going to kick it to our sports guy, Josh, who's got great stories for you today, including the breaking news from ESPN. Don't be mad if I call you J-Co, like in real life.
You the FCN Sports News in our top story. We're going to kick it off with Revolution's sports bae, Jemele Hill. Hey, he loves her. I mean, I love her too, but you know, Revolution has a thing for that girl. So Jemele, if you're watching, our resident pop guy, he's into sports too. No? Oh, okay. So anyway. So what happened? I'm going to give you a timeline of the events. This weekend, NFL Cowboys owner Jerry Jones made a statement that he would not accept any of his players to kneel or do any sort of protest during the national anthem. Now, yes, they did kneel. They did kneel during last week's game, but it was before the national anthem. So he is making it clear that that was a show of solidarity. I don't know what they were solidaritying for, but they were solidar for sure. But they cannot kneel or do any kind of protest during the actual anthem. So, of course, people are reacting. As I see it, I do believe Jerry Jones is the first and only NFL owner to outwardly make some sort of a edict or a statement against telling his players what not to do concerning protesting during the national anthem. So Jemele Hill, ESPN anchor on The 6, she decided she was going to make some comments on it. So she's responding to people on Twitter, and someone said, made a comment about the advertisers. And Jemele Hill, I do believe we have a tweet. She commented that the best thing for the watchers, for the viewers, the fans of the Cowboys will be to boycott the advertisers for the Cowboys. Let's block their sponsors. Let's boycott their sponsors. She did also include a tweet in there about It's not on the players. Someone said, hey, how about, Dez and all them, they're the ones that their jobs are safe, they should do it, they should test them. She said, no, it's not on the players, it's on the consumers. Now, I happen to agree with this statement. I've been saying since last year, boycotting the NFL, not just because of the Kaepernick situation, but because of how negligent they have been with taking care of their players and with the concussion situation. So hit them with their pockets. I have been boycotting advertisers of the NFL. I've encouraged others to do it. So I don't think she's off base in saying that. However, here's where it comes in. The next step, as we found out on Twitter Moments, Jemele Hill was suspended by ESPN for 2 weeks for these comments. They actually did release a statement saying, making a statement on why it was. This was her second violation of their social media policy recently. And so they said, well, we have to, because of this, we have to suspend her for 2 weeks. So, of course, there are going to be back and forth argument on this. Should she have been suspended? What can a journalist do? Now, this is a question I'm gonna address for a moment. As a journalist, you are a public figure, correct? You are working, you are representing a certain brand, a certain company. When you get into that company, you are representing that company, and you know that you do. So as that representative, you do have to follow their rules. ESPN has been very consistent on suspensions and reasons why they suspend people, especially when it comes to the NFL. Bill Simmons was the biggest guy in all of ESPN. He got suspended because he went after the NFL, and he went after Roger Goodell personally on one of his podcasts. They suspended him for 3 weeks, I do believe. This was before he left the company. So ESPN has made it clear that they will suspend you for making derogatory comments against their daddy. I mean, against their one of their main, sponsors and partners, the NFL. So Jemele knew what she was getting into. She made a conscious decision. She's not stupid. This wasn't an impulsive tweet. She knew exactly what she was doing. So what's the solution here? Well, why can't she say what it is that's on her mind? Carrie Champion actually had a tweet where she says, where is the line exactly? Where is it that, we're being a journalist versus, saying what it is that we feel and who we are and representing? Well, nowadays there are more outlets than just ESPN, right? That is the big show. We talk about, what is the big time, for sports. NFL is big time. MLB, NBA is big time. For TV sports, ESPN is big time. For wrestling, the WWE is big time. There's other stuff out there, but if you want to make it big, these are the places you want to go, right? So she has made that decision to be in the big time. You can either toe that line, or you can come to FCN. This is an open invitation to Jemele Hill, or, some other independent, company, even another company out there that is more centered towards black culture and black community. Leave ESPN. Let's stop acting like these are the only places that we can be, okay? They are, the biggest ones, but they became the biggest because they worked at it. Other places can take their own space, such as FCN, as I'm sure you all know we are doing right now. So moving on to our next story, I'm going to move to the NBA. Recently, Klay Thompson was quoted as saying that the Golden State Warriors are trying to be like Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Now, I know there was a lot of backlash on this. There are people, of course, who want to bring up Michael Jordan, the savior of basketball, the greatest of all time, and his Bulls, right? Even people who were arguing against the Golden State Warriors breaking their record, right? Well, what's wrong with the Golden State Warriors trying to be like those Bulls? You guys are very, very short memory people. We're talking about now we get angry when teams are trying to gather players so that they can beat, Cleveland, we can get past LeBron, or we can beat Golden State or whoever it is that's the best team in the league. You guys forget teams were doing that when Michael Jordan was kicking everybody's butt. Do you remember the New York Knicks built an entire team centered around stopping Michael Jordan and his Bulls? And guess what? They still lost. But they tried it. This has been happening. It's nothing new. Let's stop being so offended. Let's stop this faux outrage. let the people now be who they are now. They can chase history as well as be in their own greatness. But hey, continuing on with the NBA, because I like to talk about the NBA again, I don't want to talk about the NFL. The NBA commissioner recently made statements, which he's mentioned this before, about possibly reseeding the playoff team. So basically, as it would be, when the 16 teams make it into the playoffs, instead of doing the way they do it where the conference winners of each side are the top teams, no, we're going to shuffle everybody up. There is no conference anymore. We've got the 2 best teams on each side of the bracket, and then we move on down based on the record. Now, the NBA has a moment right now. They just made a switch to the All-Star game, which I think will be pretty interesting and fun, right? We're in the mode of shifting things, of trying new things. Make it happen, Mr. Silver. Make it happen. Now is your time to surpass the NFL. They are weak right now. Strike! Strike! The deadly blow! Or not. It's up to you. I don't know. But that's J. Cole's suggestion. And in my final story, of course, got to bring up the baseball playoffs. Major League Baseball is well into the playoffs. So far, J. Cole's picks are looking good. Cleveland's still in it. The Cubs are still in it. They're actually playing as we're speaking right now. I think they were behind, but, you know, they can come back. The good news is the Boston Red Sox have already been eliminated, and the Yankees are on the verge, because who cares about the Red Sox and the Yankees anymore? We want to see what? The underdogs, right? Isn't that what everybody wants to pull for? I want to take this moment, though. I want to take this moment to mention that in sports, everybody's so eager to root for that underdog. And yet, when America's underdog, the African-American community, needs support, everybody's backing off.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
I'm going to leave it at that. This has been J. Cole. Follow me again at J. Cole Is It with FCN Sports. I appreciate your time. Back to Miss Trezenay.
And with that, we're going to take it on to commercial. And when we come back, you're going to hear from The Revolution. He's got some great stories, including Meryl Streep's comments about the sexual harassment issue with Weinstein. We'll be right back.
We are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided Evil Corp. We are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
Oh, sorry, we're back. FCN Prime News. My bad, everybody. We're back, and we're going to kick it off to the Revolution. He's going to give us our pop culture news for this Monday evening.
Blurs, geeks, and sleeks. This is your boy, the Revolution. I said sleeks. Are you familiar with what the sleek is? It's a slutty geek.
School 'em.
This is a children's program. It is not. So I welcome all the sleeks. And with that, I am the Revolution, and this is your pop culture minute. Why do I always say a minute? Who wrote that for me? This does not last a minute.
They're fired.
Oh, they're fired, and that's probably you.
No, it was actually you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got a few good stories today. First and foremost, we're going to start off with the sick, sad world of Harvey Weinstein. It just continues to get worse out here, and a lot of celebrities have come forth with their statements against Harvey Weinstein and his sexual deviance towards women in Hollywood. The other theme is that Meryl Streep actually came out and made a statement. She came out and she made a statement because she's been a longtime collaborator, if you would, with Harvey Weinstein. And so a lot of people have taken shots at her. But what I want to go to first is actually Glenn Close, because of her comment. Glenn Close made a statement. Do we have that?
Glenn Close said.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You got it?
I got it.
Okay. Let me know what Glenn Close said.
I'm angry, not just at him and the conspiracy of silence around his actions, but also that the casting couch, quote unquote, phenomenon, so to speak, is still a reality in our business and in the world. The horrible pressure, the awful expectation to put on a woman when a powerful, egotistical, entitled bully expects sexual favors in exchange for a job, said Close.
Listen, I am sorry for doing this. I know that we have some viewers. I know that we have some white viewers. I know we probably have maybe 2 white male viewers out there, maybe. But nevertheless, I'm going to hit this point. Are you watching?
I'm watching.
Okay, so you're one
I gotta
of the
watch.
2.
I'm one of 2, yes.
You're one of the 2 white male watchers. Here's what's funny about that statement for me. The horrible pressure, the awful expectation put on a woman when a powerful, egotistical, entitled bully expects sexual favors in exchange for a job. All the black people in the production room are looking around like, this sounds awfully familiar, right? Yeah. The world that we live in, that this woman did not understand that the casting couch phenomenon still exists, that in order to get hired, you have to sleep your way in. And if you didn't believe that anyone with power and authority to pick and choose to give life or death to someone's career, and you believe that they're not going to take advantage of that situation, they will. They're going to take advantage every single time. And I hate to couple this, but you have to look at this scenario, right? So if women think, oh my God, I can't believe someone of power and authority would abuse their power and authority. Aha! This is for Harvey Weinstein because he's Jewish. Is that racist?
I'll do it.
You do it. Do it for me. Okay, Josh is Jewish. But I am too. But nobody cares because I'm dark skinned. So if a white person has power and authority, let's say law enforcement, and they choose to bully someone, let's say instead of a couch, let's say the street, and they're minding their business, and hey, you, what are you doing? Shopping for boom, bang, boom, pow, and you're probably arrested and or dead. So, yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. Moving on, there are people on Twitter who reacted to this. There was this one dude who was being a complete dude, bro. Do you have that one?
I think I do.
Yeah, post that tweet for me.
You know when this would have been impressive, Meryl? Anytime in the past 10 years when everyone in Hollywood knew about it and said nothing.
What? Dude, why would you be such a dude and make such a dude statement? Come on, dude. Like, why would you just be such the white dude and just say that? Like, why are you putting the onus on Meryl? It is not Meryl's responsibility here. It is Harvey Freakenstein's business. You like that one? You like that one, Dale?
Hold on, I'm going to put his picture up again. I don't know if you've seen this picture, but he looks really creepy in this picture.
He does look creepy. He's fat. His beard game is all prickly. He looked like a bruised kiwi. You know what I mean? He looked like a nasty
and he's
bruised...
got a green shirt on this picture, so that works.
Yeah, man. He does look like real life Shrek. Oh, snap. They over here burning his ass. Nevertheless, take the onus off of Meryl. Meryl does not deserve for anyone to come at her and make her wholly responsible for this. But there was another young lady, and this is what she said, right? There's another tweet?
Yes, Melissa Silverstein.
Yeah. Oh.
Who, may or may not be Jewish.
May or may not.
I believe that Meryl Streep did not know. She doesn't operate in a day-to-day Hollywood. They have people who do that.
Y'all laugh at that? That's pretty funny, right? She didn't know. She doesn't operate it. What the hell? Now I'm going to go on the flip side to this, right? Now, let's go on the flip side of this. So I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, okay? So in my family, I have a relatively big family, right? My grandparents had 7 children, right? And they had a bunch of grandkids. And so I have a cousin. And one of these cousins, I grew up my entire life. And I became a 31-year-old man before I found out that my second oldest cousin was no relation to me. Okay? But my youngest brother and sister was like, oh, you didn't know that? We been knew that. And I was like, what? How do you know it and I don't? I was like, I don't know, but I mean, she ain't our cousin. And I'm not going to get into details because somebody from my family is probably watching and they're going to be really pissed off if I'm giving all the family tea on social media because they be watching. My mama is probably texting me right now, and y'all don't want the wrath of Dawn. Y'all don't want that. But nevertheless, if I didn't know, right, who's to say that Meryl knew? But she did know. Oh, Meryl, you knew. You knew, Meryl. You in Hollywood, and you telling me not one person gave you one of those passive-aggressive comments like, oh, boy, here comes Harvey. I wonder if he's going to try to grab me by the pussy later. Like, I'm sure somebody said something. Oh, my God. You got to tell me that they said something. Am I lying here? Am I wrong? Anybody agree? Anybody disagree? I really don't care what you think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I do think that she had an inkling. But at the same time, it's not the onus. It's like it's kind of like people getting forced out into the gay community, being forced to come out. It's such a slippery slope. You want to tell somebody like, hey, I think this guy is, maybe you encourage the women. I don't know. I don't want to be a man right now. I don't want to be one of those bros to tell, hey, chick, you know what you need to do? You need to stop wearing those clothes like that when you go out in public, and maybe I wouldn't find you so sexy, and then, I don't want to just reach out and grab you by the hoo-ha, so that's your fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault I can't control myself. Yeah, it's not. So it's not Meryl's fault, ladies and gentlemen. But
we have a comment.
You have a comment?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me what they say.
Miss Lavinia says she had to been in the game way too long.
You've been in the game way too long. Do you hear that? That's old school talking. Okay? When old school talk, hey, honey, you've been in the game way too long. You know how this go. You know how this go. But that's a very true point. Moving on, I gotta get off of Harvey Weirdstein here. Moving on. You want to show okay, one more time of the Life Like Shrek?
Shrek to Fiona.
We're off.
Okay. Moving on, what are you showing me?
Oh, I thought they were going to show Shrek and Fiona.
Yeah, I saw it already.
You know what?
Why are we showing it again? I am gonna go. Moving on, the Justice League trailer dropped. If you all have not seen it, let's take a look now. Can we take a look at the Justice League trailer? Please, let's do it.
All right.
take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
The world remains in mourning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world.
Invasion.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that? That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided, we are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together. Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
So, what did you guys think? I know what I thought, and I know what a lot of people in the studio was thinking. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I have not been a fan of the direction of the DC Extended Universe. I think the brightest spot in all of this has been Wonder Woman. And like I've said before, I said on Twitter not too long ago that I really felt like they should have started this whole universe off with Wonder Woman. She's the oldest, and we could have seen that Wonder Woman has had a hand in the formation of this, and she's known how everyone existed, especially Atlantis. So we would have Wonder Woman, then we could have had, I would have said after that you do Suicide Squad, then you do Man of Steel, then you do Batman, Superman. I think you should have kind of reversed it. So with that being said, I'm not really a fan of the way this Justice League is kind of looking. Namor flying around. I mean, wait, what's his name? It was Namor. Yeah, because that is not Aquaman. Aquaman is blonde. His name is Arthur. His daddy is from like Maine or something. He had a white blonde mama. You do not come out and you do not be bronzed up with arched eyebrows for the gods and long, flowing, voluptuous hair. I'm talking volume, honey. I'm talking volume. Don't no white man got volume like that. That's only on colored people. Or white women that have gay beauticians that know how to give you volume. Layers. He is not a white boy underwater. That is Namor. Stop playing games with me. Stop it. In spite of Flash, I'm not a fan of, hey, I'm Flash. Hey, I'm younger than everybody. Yeah, joke. I'm not a fan of that. And what's that clunky R2-D2 looking ass cyborg, man? Like, he looked like he was wrapped in aluminum foil, man. I couldn't. I'm sorry, man. Y'all can say whatever y'all can be like, the Revolution. You are just a Marvel fanboy. You think everything that Marvel Universe does is exceptional. You do not like DC on any levels. Your mama, because I do. I am a huge fan of the DC Universe. I think they have had the best animated films. Some of the best stories to come out of mainstream comic book fandom have been from DC. One of my all-time favorites, Red Sun, Kingdom Come, Batman's Hush, Hello, Blackest Night. Come on, what are we talking here? Don't tell me I don't like DC. DC is the truth. But these films, not so much. Moving on about other films, let's talk about this past weekend's box office results. Yeah, and number 5, we got what? What do we have at number 5?
Play the video, shall we?
Yeah, it's a video. What is what they got? Number 5 is The Kingsman.
The Kingsman.
Okay. This is a sequel that I didn't bother to go see yet. So I know it was like white British people and then white American people saving the world as only white people can do. Oh, absolutely. Aryans are the best, aren't they? Aren't they the best? No? Oh, okay. Anything else?
Yeah, let's see what's next. My Little Pony is number 4.
My Little Pony, they had a movie? My Little Pony had another movie?
Oh, we finna brony up, bro.
I ain't bronying nothing.
I'm bronying up.
Man, you are a poser. Bronies are the most hipster, pretentious people. Like, you go out of your way to be different. So it's like, I'm 26 and I love My Little Pony. Hey, I'm sorry, I can't control my impulses. I have to touch you by your hoo-ha.
That's an accurate description of guys who like My Little Pony.
Yeah, who are bronies. I don't care. They can come from me. They know where to find me. What was number 3? Between Us, a film that nobody has heard of, but Idris Elba's in it, and so is Kate Winslet. Let me say this real quick. Kate Winslet is a pesticide-free vine riper tomato. I mean, you take that tomato off, you just ranch it off real quick, and you just no salt, no pepper. You just bite in that, and then to let the juices dribble from your chin. You know what I'm talking about? Kate Winslet! Ha-ho!
Blade Runner was number 1.
Okay, yeah, Blade Runner's number 1. More about Kate Winslet. Oh my God, that is a juicy tomato.
I would pay to watch them.
Oh my God, I would not pay to watch. I would pay to watch me and Kate Winslet. Okay, Kate Winslet. Let me tell you this. Let me say this. If all white women came from the white woman factory that Kate Winslet came from, because she just wasn't birthed. She came out of a pod or some type of genetic engineering program to make voluptuous, thick white girls. I promise to God, I would have more secret white babies than I already have. Shh, don't tell anybody. Last but not least, The Last Jedi. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure, for those of you who are protesting, of the NFL contest between the guys who throw the football versus the other guys who run the football. They're gonna debut the long-awaited Star Wars sequel, Episode 8 trailer, The Last Jedi. I'm excited. I want to see it. I want to see where this story goes. I'm most excited because I'm very petty. And I want to go, I told y'all John Boyega ain't force sensitive, and he's just there to shut y'all up, and he ain't ever gonna be special. He's just comic relief. He's just there to be like a combination of Jar Jar Binks and R2-D2. He's just there to be R2 Binks. He ain't gonna do nothing in this movie. Just him and that Mary Sue. So I'm excited. To be petty. I'm the Revolution, and this has been your pop culture 20 minutes. See y'all later.
Bro.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Why do we keep the Revolution around? Like, this is why we keep him around. He just brings a lot of life to the set. With him in mind, I want to let you guys know what's coming up this week in programming. On Wednesday, we have the debut pregame show for Mr. Robot, hosted by Mr. Revolution himself. We will also have FCN Prime News coming again on Thursday at 7 p.m., followed by our Scandal pregame show hosted by Starla K. Mathis what's the name of her blog? Oh, Creative Life Mom and Wife. She'll be here hosting that along with her guests and maybe some surprise guests as well. And so with that, thank you so much, guys, for watching FCN Prime News, and we will see you next time.